Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a Plat Widowmaker player. Looks like we're going to get some Widow v Widow action. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe. That definitely helps me out. Or if you are looking to get a review yourself or coaching, you can join my Discord in the description below and see what my rates look like.
2, 1. Attackers incoming.
So let's look around at where your team is.
Stop the payload.
You. So the thing about poke comps is they like to function from multiple sight lines. Just think about Widow for a second. Widow is not terribly high damage if she has to shoot at a shield, for example. So if they just walk at you with a shield, while all behind one sight line, while all behind one barrier, they're potentially going to make a lot of distance because you don't do a ton of damage. Now your Zen does a little more damage, your Roadhog will do a little more damage once they get closer, your Sigma will do a little more damage once they get closer, but really Widow doesn't accelerate at that. So what Widow needs to happen is Widow needs it to be that you're shooting at them from different angles. So that if, say, your Widow is over here and has an angle, and your Zen and Sigma are over here, and your Hog is over here, now they're being threatened from 3 different angles. And if they go, hey, I'm going to block the Hog, you get to pink them in the side of the head. Or if they go, I'm going to block, the Widow, then your Zen or your Sigma pinks them, or your Hog hooks them, etc. Like, you want to create situations as Widow where you're not just overwhelming them with damage, you're overwhelming them with angles and the threat of your one-shot potential. And your one-shot potential only matters if you have clean shots on them, not through cover or through temporary cover known as barriers. So to get that, you compromise cover by taking different angles. That's what cover does. It takes away angles from the opponents. So I really don't like that you're all on this same angle because your ranged threats are you, Sigma, Zen, and Hog. Those are all, poke comps of a sort, poke comp heroes. They work reasonably fine together, and you're all on the same angle. This hurts my soul. Please do better. Oh, my bad. Let me. You're right. I had my scarf off, for a moment earlier. Forgot to put it back on. Now we have the scarf power. The scarf shall empower the review.
Patience.
So nice of you to hit that shot, but if we go back here, because I am picky.
Stop the payload.
So you're here. It's just nice that you have your barrier, and I get it feels like, oh, hi, I have my barrier. That's safe. I get to fire from behind my barrier. That's okay, but I really don't want all of you threatening from the same angle. If they had a barrier, just like this one barrier, is denying them shooting at you, if they had a barrier and they stuck behind it, you couldn't shoot at them unless you're on a different angle. Okay, you take that. No, I don't want you sliding right here. You're sliding all onto the same angle. Activating the barrier. You're not going to find great shots, and I didn't want you to use your grapple here because I want you to have your grapple available to reload a Kate up to here. But let's see what you do. Okay. This wall is protecting them from you, from your Torb. Did you have a Torb? Am I crazy? Okay, you had a Torb. I swear that I was thinking. Oh, okay. I wasn't thinking about your Torb. I was thinking about your Sigma, Hog, and Zen, all as your other threats. Yes. Okay. So this is a little better, or will be shortly. In that your Sigma is threatening them from here, while your core, which you're weirdly a part of, are threatening them from here. So it's not great, but it's better than it was, or at least it will be once they round this corner. And the reason it will be is once they're here, your Sigma gets to pelt them in the side of the head from the side if they choose to shield against you, and if they choose to shield against your Sigma, you get to go, oh, hey, we'll take our free shots, etc. It would be better still if you were up here creating a more extreme third angle for your team here. This is a pretty minor angle difference between you and your Torp here, but we'll live. Wrong hero. This hero. And you're already getting some of the benefit because they're choosing to shield against your old position / your Sigma, so you're finding some opportunities here, assuming this Widow doesn't flank you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is not the end.
Fine. Has our Widow Mine even been out all game? I don't think it has. Nice! I'm thrilled to hear it, man. Very good. Okay, so your mine should definitely be out. That should be a thing. If we look at the opposing comp that we're playing at, there's no flanker that's going to sneak up on us or anything. So that changes our mine use a little bit. And we're thinking, hey, I want to mine places that are less likely for, a tracer or something to sneak up on me or a ball to sneak up on me, and more likely that are, since we've been talking about off angles they might want to control. Like I might want to throw a mine up here so that I know if, say, their Widow or Hanzo, more likely, if their Widow or Hanzo goes and takes this positioning, because my team doesn't control it anymore, and it's an angle that they might want to control. You could do the same thing in here. You'd do this more if you were worried about, flankers, but you could do it here, but this would be a legit place. We haven't used our mine yet, and that's a little scary to me. Oh, wrong Widow. Okay. And again, hey, it's almost like clockwork. Their Widow goes to take that position. Now, you got to see her, but you might not have if you'd been over here threatening like this, etc. So your mine would have been the early warning system. Good. Can you retake her spot? You have grapple. Like, that could be pretty threatening for your team. Hog is retaking the spot. That's fine. Unless you're there's oh no, unless you're ANS, there's never enough head clicking. Yeah, fair enough.
The enemies of Talon will be eliminated.
Okay. I don't particularly like this, to be honest. Like, I'm glad that you got the elimination there. You do have a res available if you go down after having gotten it. It's a little too unidirectional. It's a little too threatening. Your guys here aren't really threatening these guys. Now they are, but when you went for this, you didn't have teammates reasonably threatening them where they were. If they were here, you had teammates threatening them, but with they were here, you didn't really have teammates threatening them. You only had your hog, who has now dropped and gone up here. So this is actually better. Your hog's got another angle on them, threatening them, which meant you were going, hey, I'm going to force this 1vx, 1v2 it turned out to be, where I can see two of them, the two of them can see me, and I'm going to hit the shot, etc. Well, okay, you might hit the shot, or the Hanzo might hit the shot on you. Like, you're just trying to out-mechanic them at that point.
Mm-hmm. No one can hide from my sight. Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Why would you try to force this so hard?
Heroes never die. I need healing.
Still haven't used a Widow's mine. This Widow is maybe. He doesn't like the high ground, that's for sure. Okay. See this fight that you're losing? You're all fighting from basically the same angle. Your hog is like, I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to take something resembling a different angle, but not much of one. You're all fighting from the different angle. And they have gone, hey, we've taken control of this flank. We're trying to take control of this flank. We have this. Like, they have to fight into this. It sucks for them. But you guys could be like, hey, we have a hog here. We have a Sigma or a Widow up here. We have our Zen back here. We have a Widow up here. Like, you guys could be like, oh yeah, this is brutal to push into. You guys could make this absolutely brutal to push into. But you're not. You're kind of all playing this one straight, line here. Let me just draw this for you. This is all sort of one line that you're playing. This is sort of one real threat. Instead, you guys could be, hey, there's a threat from here. There's a threat from up here. There's a threat from here-ish, from like our Zen or a Torb, and there's a threat from here-ish from our Hog. You see how much more powerful that is? Like, it really is that much more powerful because, like, their Sigma Shield can't go in every direction to block it, just as an example. If their Widow takes cover from one of you, she's vulnerable to a different one of you, etc. Like, that's really how you want to be playing the game. And because they're, threatening, if we look at this a little bit differently, if we look at this from their perspective, they're mostly on one line here. Like, they threaten, like, they're not completely on one line. They threaten like this. This is a little better than you. They're threatening like this, and they're threatening like this. So this is, you can see theirs is a fair bit more threatening than yours. And it's harder to take cover against this. If you take cover against this Zarya, maybe behind this cart, you're vulnerable to this Hanzo over here. If you take cover behind the cart over here against the Hanzo, you're vulnerable to the Zarya. You see how that works? Like how them having different angles compromises the integrity of different covers? Same thing can work for you guys. You just need to be better about the angles that you're controlling. My chat is bullying me for my inability to draw. They're correct. They're totally correct. But my chat is a bully. They call me a bully. They're the real bully. It is hard, to be fair, guys, it is hard to draw with a straight line on a 3D surface like this. But yes, you are correct. My drawing sucks. Oh, hey guys, we used mine for the first time. We're only, 2.5 minutes into the match, and we used mine for the first time. That's an ability. Okay, so you're giving up first. That's fine. Nice. Now, hopefully you take different angles from your team. Okay. So, do you have any feel for how your team's distributed? Let's take a look. Cool. So Torb's over here, Sigma's over here. I don't actually love this because I don't think your team is ready to support Sigma. I think Sigma is going to have a really tough time getting out. But, if you had something like your Sigma over here, and then your Hog down here, and you up here, I could live with it. Or you could go to places that are unique to you that really only you could get to, like up here. This is a pretty good one. But I want you conscious and being on different angles. Are you on a different angle than your Bap or your Hog right now? No, you are not. You're on a slightly different angle than your Torb turret, but you're playing the same angle as these guys. Your team is really only controlling, we'll say 3 angles, but they aren't all relevant angles. These 2 are the only really relevant angles right now, and your Sigma's just in a tough place. You need to take a more aggressive angle that can actually support what your Sigma is doing here. I know you're caught in a Hanzo fight at this point, so we'll live with it, but hey. I would like you to grapple up over there. You want to grapple up over there. Oh, sad face. Okay, he sees you. Yeah, you couldn't repeat that. You saw that it was fine to readjust over to here, but you saw that he saw you as you were scoping in there, so you couldn't reopen that angle like you did.
I need healing.
The mini's right there.
Person.
The mini was safe for you to get to.
Heal me. Now, where were we?
Didn't need to grapple for this. Didn't need to. I know you're sort of doing it so you can be going scoping as you're getting to the position, but you didn't need to. Okay, you're up 1. Take your angle. Fine. I don't love the grapple, but I can live with it. Okay, so you know that the Widow was looking that direction, and that's actually very useful information to you. When you get into high poke comps like this, high pick-off ability comps like this, where you have a lot of different poke threats and sometimes multiple different one-shot threats, your timing for when you peak angles, because, you know, you're playing against someone else who also has one-shots with their Widow and Hanzo, is when your teammates start shooting at someone, they open an angle to shoot at someone, it is very, very likely to draw eyeballs to those teammates that are shooting at the person. So then that actually creates a window for you to go, now I'm going to peek because my opponent's eyeballs are almost certainly drawn towards my teammates who are shooting at them. So since their crosshairs and eyeballs are drawn somewhere else, I have a half second, a 3/4 of a second to peek and try to get something done and take my shot, etc. And now that you're Widow, you taking your shot has a stream trail to you, etc. Bullet trail is almost certainly going to now draw those eyeballs over to you. So you can unpeak, allowing some of your teammates to peek again. And you kind of, you know, chain that reaction, etc. to do work. I think you're a little late on this peek, but this is potentially the right idea. Unfortunately, okay, so that happens. Yeah, that's what I was saying about you being a little late on the peek, but that's the right idea.
C'est la vie.
Okay, your team's not in it. Back out, that's fine.
Damage increase.
Is your mind still... That's what I thought. Do you really feel like this is doing you good anymore, buddy? Do you? Even a simple on the way out, you lay the mine here type thing, just so that you know when they're pushing would be better. Or hey, maybe Widow walks over here and then you have eyes on here, or Hanzo walks over here and you have eyes on here. You're just completely forgetting about this ability.
Comme c'est aimable de ta part.
I actually say it at the beginning too. You just don't always catch the beginning because, you know, I generally only wait 1 or 2 minutes between when I post and when I go live.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard. Heroes never die.
But if you do it at the end, I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue regardless. I just like that you guys are here, and when you do like it, that's awesome. But, hey. Are you going to press X, or are you just going to sort of be like, hey, I want heals? Did I miss you saying I need healing?
I need healing.
You did say I need healing. Good. Press it again. Yeah. I don't really love peeking in that direction. I would have preferred the peek over here because this was a little too obvious in that, hey, eyeballs have already been drawn to this direction because your Mercy just Guardian Angel the cross. And people see that your Mercy just Guardian Angel the cross. So if you now peek in this direction, they're already looking here. You don't want to peek where people are already looking if you can avoid it. You want to peek when people are looking somewhere else. So your Mercy just glided across, so you're better off peeking here and peeking here. Oh, there's a free Zen to get, etc. When the Zen is looking, if we look into his point of view, right there. So yeah, he can still pivot. He can still go, hey, I'm going to turn over there and get you. But that takes him time, and that's what you're taking advantage of. As Widow, you are literally taking advantage of. It's going to take him time to turn and look at the other place, to aim at the other place, etc.
No one can hide from my sight.
I don't think you want that. Again, I don't like you're not peeking it yet, so I can live with that. But I don't want you peeking the same angle that the res is happening on, that your soldier's shooting from. Like, eyeballs are already looking there, that your BAP is shooting from. Oh, hey guys, it's the Widow mine over there. Again, you could go over to here. Check if you've got something different available to you from this angle. You don't have to be strictly going, you know, let's stay close to the soldier. The more and the wider angles you can get, the more powerful you're going to be. Yep, there you go. Okay. You didn't actually need to drop. You could have peeked over here and pressed X to see if you'd get any healing, but this was a pretty good angle to maintain. And, you know, you can go, hey, I'm going to close the angle for 2, 3 seconds. I know 3 seconds will seem like an eternity, but in 3 seconds, they'll start looking somewhere else. And then you can repeak it and go, oh, look, there's a widow for me to pick up. Because even though it feels like an eternity, it feels like an eternity to them too. And if we look at where their widow is looking, just as an example, you know, she's started to give up on that angle. She's not hard holding that angle anymore, even though you just took her Hanzo down from it anymore, because she feels like she needs to contribute to the fight elsewhere. And that's what's going to happen. If you go, hey, I do my work, now I close the angle, and I wait 2 seconds, I wait 3 seconds, I wait 4 seconds before I repeak the angle, they're generally not going to be willing to just hard hold the angle the whole time, because A, you've put your team up. So if they go, well, I'm just going to cancel you out, and you go, well, I'm going to keep the angle closed, well, they're not doing anything, you're not doing anything, but you already got an elimination. So like, okay, cool, fine with you. Okay. Let's take a quick look here. Let's catch up on chat. Widows, either aimbots or throw picks, almost nothing in between. Yeah, kind of. That kind of happens. Though, again, you can do a lot for map control as long as they don't know that the Widow can't aim. Like, even if a Widow can threaten that they can aim, they can do a lot for map control. But that's mostly right up until you get to a certain level, at which point, yes, they have good aim. Not actually aimbots, but yes, they have good aim. Don't use winter skin on summer map, guys. Why afraid to get hot? Okay. 12 viewers, only 3 likes. I agree. 12 likes would be awesome. 13 likes even, because that's how many viewers that we have now. Wear the right outfit. And then we're talking about Temporal has angle PhD. Temporal does have angle PhD. That's great. Okay. Yeah, see, you're fighting from the same angle as your soldier here. Don't really like it. Their one barrier is blocking you from shooting at 4 people on their team. It's also blocking your soldier from shooting at 4 people on their team. I bet it's also blocking your... Nope, just you two. Because your BAP is going, I'm done with this, I'm going to go take high ground where I can do something, which is where you should have been.
Heal me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking care of you. Comme c'est aimable de ta part. Personne n'échappe.
We're gonna redeploy this mine sometime soon. Maybe have had a mine in here since you've already been down on the low ground so that you see this Zarya coming through. Maybe have a mine up here in case their Hanzo or Widow tries to challenge this. You know, Hanzos do try to challenge this. Widows do try to challenge this. Like, yeah. No. Your soldier, your Zarya, and previously your BAP all already had this angle. You now want this angle. This is what you want. You can take cover against the opposing team. You can shoot them in the back. If they're taking cover against that team with the payload, etc., you get to shoot them in the back. If they take cover against the payload from you, your other guys get to shoot them in the back. We want more and better angles. More and better angles.
Is approaching its destination. Initiating match. Ready for battle.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Okay. You're still running a very poke-heavy comp, so I'm still going to be very critical of angles. This time you've got your Widow, your Hanzo, your Roadhog, and your Sigma. Those are all still very heavy angle characters, or very heavily poke characters. Okay, you can let your team, remember, you're lighter on health than anyone on the cast now except Tracer, so you want someone else to sort of draw eyeballs to them first. You do not want to be the first person to peek. So your hog now looks like he probably is drawing eyeballs, so you peeking is fine. You tried. That's fine.
Evidence suggests a sniper ahead.
Oh well.
Où en étais-je?
Mm-hmm.
Heal me.
Probably not gonna happen. Yeah, just SMG him down. You have support here. He's out of position. You have support. Now you can go back to your scope shots. Well, that's embarrassing. Oh, good. He didn't get out. Okay. So you've got two options here. You can try to play this straight until the map spreads out a bit and you can take angles, which is now what I'd recommend because you guys are up. When it was neutral or when you are behind, if you're still trying to take the fight, you sometimes have to go, hey, let me take more aggressive things like this, which, hey, their Widow is aware of and is mining in case you do. Funny how that works. Or you could go, hey, let me push up with my team, then let me break out up here and try to take this angle, etc. Yeah, you don't really have support, so this is risky, but you can at least have a health pack, etc. Fortunately, your Hanzo, the other sniper in this game, is on it and is like, okay, I'll go take this off angle, etc.
Nano boost is ready to deploy.
Okay, that's fine, but you're going to transition up to high ground, right? Right? Okay, so she clearly knows where you are and is shooting on you. Just close the angle and do some work like this. Go, hey, is there anyone I can shoot from here while keeping her out of line of sight? Oh, there is. That's lovely. No, we don't want to keep forcing the fight with her from the exact same angle. Why are you ego dueling this Widow?
My ultimate is ready.
Here. I want you here.
Heroes never die.
Walk it off.
Good. You see how that worked? You got to shoot her from here because she's mostly paying attention to the fight happening in front of her here. Angles are powerful. Way better than trying to go, well, I think the Widow's going to walk out here, so I'm going to be holding this angle. Yeah, she might, but just take your angles instead.
Onwards to victory.
Moira by your
Essayons encore
side.
une fois. Allez, montre-toi. No one can hide from my sight.
Activating the barrier.
Completely brute forced, but whatever. You've sort of had a barrier. Okay.
Now I feel alive.
That's just mechanics. Like, you're not... Like, yes, it's nice that your mechanic is sort of letting you hit that shot, but you're not at all doing this off of making it easier for you to hit the shot. You want to have good mechanics, yes, but you want to set yourself up so that the shots are easier, so that your mechanics can shine.
Rien ne peut plus m'arrêter.
Okay, your Hanzo's going to take it. Fine. Oh, now you want it? Okay. Take the shot, then throw your mine, then close the angle. Still haven't used a mine all round, and this time we're 2 minutes and 45 seconds into it. The instant that your grapple was up, you should have been out of here. But hey. It was a short instant, but you had like half, 3/4 of a second where you had it. It doesn't matter. You guys got the checkpoint. Okay, yeah, BAP for immortality fields that you can duel with immortality. That's kind of cheating. Ego dueling, yep. No, you don't have to do that in Plat.
This will heal you.
Okay, that was 2 in a row, so I'm gonna have to rewatch this because I was reading chat. Ouch. Okay, so this happens. Okay. You're trying to grapple behind your shield. The Widow's right there. And you get hit by Hanzo from there. Funny how when they have angles like this, you know, the Widow's threatening from here, the Hanzo's threatening from here, Lucio's thinking about being up here, the shield just isn't quite good enough. It's funny how that works. Okay, but more seriously, what could you have done here? You can play a little more in spawn. You can go up here to be more threatening. If you're up here, you have this to close cover with. You can, you know, if the Lucio's still going to show up because that's where he expects you to go, but that's life. You can take the shot on the Hanzo while the Widow isn't threatening you. Or you can go take the shot on the Winzo and then back up, etc. Like this is a better and a stronger place for you to go to.
Barrier in place.
This will heal you.
Getting right to the same place. And it's because you're too interested in that Widow. The Widow is not the only hero. You can eliminate everyone else and then the Widow. You can eliminate the Widow, but you want her attention on someone else before you go for her. And hey, the Widow knows that you're too interested in dueling her, so she's going to change her position. Not too surprising.
Allow me to repair. Walk it off.
So we've talked a lot about angles. We should also talk about varying your position. We talked about friggin' mine use, which we still haven't seen. It was kind of slow to take a shot, but okay.
Be careful.
No. If Hanzo's peeking there, and you know Hanzo's peeking there, your peek is more of a, hey, is there anything if I peek over here? You don't want to peek here. This is a smaller angle. This is an angle, sure, but this is a smaller angle than this to this. Bigger equals better with angles. Okay.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
It's dicey.
The payload moves.
Yeah.
Barrier in place.
I'm under attack.
No. Well,
at your service.
Do you think you're in this fight? Okay. I suppose infrared is over now.
Catching you up.
Nope, there's too many. You're done. Close the angle. Close the angle.
no one can hide from my sight.
I think you could have earned a little more space before you popped sights, but that's okay.
Join with me.
Why are you trying to force this fight when all these people can see you? Why are you doing that? She dropped, and she dropped using grapple. She can't force that angle open on you quickly. She can't do it. You have to deal with these people. She can't force this angle open quickly. Like, you saw her use grapple. You do not need this duel. You need to deal with the people that can actually hit you. Because if you back up even a step, she can't hit you, and she has to come up the stairs to get you, and that's going to take her a second and a half, etc. This is improper target prioritization. Like, again, not dangerous to you, dangerous to you. Safe shots, not safe shots. The Widow is paying attention to you. She's looking for you to peek her. You don't have to peek her to get a quick elimination on the Ana or to chunk down a tank.
Activating the barrier.
60 seconds remaining.
They get the checkpoint based on the game timer.
Payload is on its way.
Hey, not bad. Not bad. We've got a Widow mine. And I don't even hate its location. Cool. I hope we immediately close this angle and let our Roadhog threats in first. I hope we immediately crouch and close this angle because we see this Hanzo. Do we see this Hanzo? Yeah, we see this Hanzo. So we should immediately duck behind this crate. Okay. Let our hog bait some attention. Fine.
Been practicing.
Did that sting?
A payload in
30
motion.
seconds.
Огонь по готовности!
Our time runs short. We must increase our efforts.
وريهم قوتك!
What is that melody?
Okay.
An expedient solution.
The payload.
So again, the reason that worked is you had your Hanzo to the left, you had your Hog to the left, and you had the rest of your core on point. So you playing to the right like that, that worked out because they're overwhelmed, etc.
The payload.
You know, you having a Widow mine out that hit the other Widow that actually told you where she was didn't hurt either. Okay, use it. They're not going to repeat it.
Heal me.
60 seconds remaining.
Why would you re-peek the same angle? It's so easy to just drop over here and peek it from here, or to wander over here. Like, whatever. You did not have reason to believe that she would have looked away yet. And if you were going to re-peek the same angle, I wanted you to wait longer. I wanted you to wait until you saw her maybe try to take a shot at your Hanzo, etc. Or until you saw your Hanzo start taking shots at her, and then you know she's either going to shoot back or she's going to have gone back behind cover to close the angle on the Hanzo.
Payload in motion.
Okay,
30
okay,
seconds
use it.
remaining.
Cool, cool. A mine.
No one can hide from my sight.
I think it's too low to qualify, but I like the effort. Please tell me we're going to go take the spot that our mine cleared for us. Please.
Personne n'échappe
Please.
à mon regard.
Please.
وريهم قوتك!
Please do not peek while the freaking infocyte is up. Imagine how easy it would be to clean up this team if, you know, we had control of here and we were just taking out the Zen as he came in, etc. Would be great.
Overtime.
I'm on fire.
Now it's fine. Now they have to get on the cart, and this actually becomes the better spot than the other one. But there was a transitionary period where you wanted that high ground. Good.
Initiating match.
I'm looking forward.
Ready for battle.
Reduce your.
Ready.
Okay.
Five,
Playing tilted, fair. Um,
1. Attackers incoming.
Payload is on its way.
Escort the payload.
yeah, I don't get too into the hey, people should change, have to change thing, etc. Because the reality is, if someone's one-tricking a hero, they've ended up roughly where they should be most of the time. Like, that's kind of how it is. Yes, they're going to have bad games, and it sucks to be on their team when they're having a bad game, especially if it's a streaky player. But streakiness is one of those things where, hey, by the same token, sometimes they're going to be on your team, sometimes they're going to be on the other team, sometimes they're going to be having a bad day on the other time, sometimes on your team. More games, it mostly evens out. It's not perfect, but it mostly evens out. People need to practice their heroes. You can't expect them to go, I'm going to play Reaper to get to Diamond, and then I'm going to swap to Widow. They're just not going to be any good at Widow at that point.
Observe the barrier.
Okay. Hey, this is kind of like an angle. Still no mine, but Okay, we don't have grapple, so where could we take an angle? We could check that doorway. Sigma's doing the right thing in denying that doorway, but I'm not sure you know that yet. Now you know that. You could throw a mine to help you contest that doorway.
30 seconds remaining. Moving on.
Now will you transition up to the other high ground? No, we're going to brute force it, and we're not going to use our mine. Okay.
10 seconds remaining.
No one can hide from my sight.
The payload
Okay.
has reached the checkpoint. Overtime.
We saw our Hanzo go over here. Why did we not go up here instead? We saw our Hanzo go over here. Go up here. Take this one. This one's better. This one's better. Not join our Hanzo. We don't join our Hanzo.
The payload's under my protection.
It's a weird grapple.
Get here.
Imagine how much easier this would be if we'd gone here or gone here, then transitioned to over here. Like this could be great. Look at both their tanks looking over here. So much easier. So much easier. But hey.
Thank you.
This will only hurt.
You just missed too many shots there. That's fine. You were enabled properly. I mean, you had the vision on the Anna. She was missing some health. You just needed to hit the shot and then have a chance to fight the Zen or close the angle. And you weren't wrong to not close the angle because that was the end of the match and you had to take the fight. Like, you literally didn't have time to... If you didn't get the eliminations, your team wasn't going to be able to push.
Ready for battle. Ready for battle.
Later, Game Buster. Have fun with your games.
Activating the barrier.
5, 4, 3.
Oh, that wasn't quite what I wanted to do. I'm trying. I'm trying. These would all be good mine spots. You have setup time. Unless you think they haven't figured out that you're playing Widow and are going to see you go set up your mine, which you can totally hide yourself setting up your mine for either of these mines, and you only slightly have a chance to be seen setting up these two mines, please set up a mine. Please. Okay, is there anything I've missed in chat? More healing orb. Okay, cool.
2, 1. Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
Your Hanzo. Your Hanzo has figured out, hey, I want to play a different angle. He's actually been better than much of your team for this game. Your Roadhog's done some too, but this is you all threatening from the same direction again. You do not want you, your BAP, and your Sigma threatening from the same angle. If one person is threatening, or one person plus a support plus your Mercy is threatening from the same angle as your Sigma, no problem. Two people taking advantage of the shield, fine. But if that's the case, I want you over here. Or, I want your BAP over here, or something. And if your BAP won't move, you got to do it.
Damage increase. Merci.
Barrier is about to barrier is out of existence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Barrier no longer exists.
So I don't mind having Venom Mine to help you fight against flankers. I don't mind flanker Venom Mines. But you also have to recognize when you're not playing against flankers and how to use it when you're not playing against flankers, which has been the case for the overwhelming majority of this match.
C'est la vie.
And if you're worried about flankers, you can still put it in a lot of the same routes, because those are routes flankers use to get to you without taking much poke damage. It's fine. This is good positioning. You're drifting a little far from your cover, but this is angle-wise what I want. Should be a mine like right here, though, or right here, etc. Don't over-tunnel the Genji. He's drawing a lot of eyeballs. Okay. If you do want to tunnel the Genji, I want you to drift back in here so that you have cover in case someone peeks, and can hit you from there, etc.
No one can hide from my sight.
Want to leave a mine behind while you're here? No? No? Okay.
Did that
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Justice ain't gonna
Now we're on McCree. This isn't real. This is going to be junk time.
into the
30 seconds remaining.
let them up.
No, you can't over-babysit it like that. This is too much time spent on a tracer that you don't have a feel for. Yeah.
10 seconds
Okay. Let's rewind so that we have a Widow screen for the end screen. Second ago would have been good. I just wasn't fast enough on the pause.
ready for
Okay.
battle.
Not great. Okay. So, two big things for you. You have to actually use Venom Mine. You do. It's an ability. It's part of your kit. You have to actually get value out of it. I showed you a couple Venom Mine spots, but you have to understand it. If you're playing against snipers, you want it in angles that they might potentially want to peek from, etc., etc. Even if it means them having to take a very aggressive, risky angle to get it, you could still put it there. It gives you some warning it's useful. You can use it to protect yourself against flankers, but a lot of those same angles we're talking about, especially the deeper, more risky ones, are places that flankers are going to want to go anyways. So that works out nicely. Other than that, You gotta take your angles. You're too into, hey, I'm going to force this duel with the Widow, etc., etc. No, you take your angles so that the Widow has more things to worry about. She's got to worry about you, she's got to worry about your Hanzo, she's got to worry about the Zen or the Sigma, and they're all shooting from different places. She can't look at all of you at once. And, if she gets too into fighting you, you just close the angle, and because you're at a such steep different angle from your team, you still, even while closing the angle on her, potentially have an angle on other members of her team that you can shoot at. That's what you're looking to do. I want you to take more and bigger angles, and I know I've drilled on that very hard this match. I hope you've gotten it. I hope it's worked its way in there. Anyway, if anyone has questions, you can throw them up in chat or leave a comment in the YouTubes down below. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe. That really helps me out. Or if you're looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, and through there you can see what my rates look like. You can participate in Recruit a Friend for a couple more days, or you can, hang out with this community that we've got here in chat, etc. All sorts of good stuff. So what do we have here? Temporal, what are, let's say, 3 basic rules of angle shooting? I think I gave them. More angles are better. Steeper angles are better. Those steeper angles produce more risk. And ideally, what you want to do once is when you want to poke, when eyeballs, you want to peek from your angle when eyeballs have been drawn somewhere else. So your Hanzo was just firing. Okay, great. They're going to look at your Hanzo. Now is a great moment for you to peek and take your shot. And then you close it. And then, okay, that drew eyeballs to you. And then your Zen fires off an orb volley. And then you want to peek and open again because it's very hard for them to not look at the Zen that just released an orb volley from his cover, etc. So more angles, steeper angles, and time your peeks around what your other teammates are doing, around when eyeballs are likely to be drawn to other people. I have also another, wear a scarf, close the angle. Those are pretty good too. I might put wear a scarf first. That might be my order, but hey. Okay, then that's what I've got, and I'm going to take a break for now. I'll be later back, probably this evening, maybe later afternoon, to do some more streaming. Thanks, guys. Temporal out.